sometimes discouraged, but not defeated. Cast down, but not destroyed. There's times that I don't understand, but I still believe. Yes, sir. It's turning around for me. Anybody feel like that? I've struggled and disappointment. That time that I felt so alone. Some of my friends, they let me down, but I still believe that it's turning around for me. So it will always be right here, Lord. The Lord will perfect that concerning me. Sooner or later, said it will turn in my favor. Said sooner or later, yes it will turn it out. Said sooner or later, yes it will. Turning around for me. Said it's turning around for me. It's turning around for me. How many know we serve a just God?
When you hit the church, all of a sudden the relationship starts to get frazzled because they have different conditions. Penina has children and Hannah has none, and the fact that Hannah has no children somehow gets the focus under a microscope at the tent of meetings, at the place of worship. And so there's something about this engagement. Because if you follow along, the Bible says that every year when they went to the tent of meeting, every single year that Penina would do her thing in front of Hannah, and it would frustrate and humiliate and embarrass Hannah. And so the Bible says that when they would do the sacrifice, and it's an interesting thing how the sacrifice works. I think we think, because we don't know how sacrifice works, so let me tell you how sacrifice works. God's not a God of waste, and so when God would allow people to come and bring the sacrifice, they would kill the animal, they would burn the animal, then the choicest part, which in that culture was the fattest part, would be burned up. Now we don't identify with that as much as we did 25 years ago when people fought over the fat. Because that's what, now even if you don't fight over it, you still know that's what a flavor is. Even when you try to be good with the pork chop and move the fat over there, you always looking at that. You won't eat it, but it's on your mind. You always looking at it because you know that's where you, anyway. So the fattest part, but then God will allow them to take the rest of it. I wish I had time to do an offering sermon right now. Because he would just let you know how God operates. He said, now take the rest of it, and that's yours. He said, all I want the first part and the best part, because if you give me the first part, the best part, then I'll bless the rest of it. And so, this ain't no offering sermon, but it might turn into one here very quickly. That's the only reason why God say, just bring me 10, but don't bring me any 10. Don't bring me a leftover 10, because I want the first part, and I want the best part. I want the part that you would use to go do something else that you really want to do. Just so we can line up where I am in your life. So before you buy your season tickets, already decide what my part is. Before you plan your vacation, and then try to figure out what to give me when you get back. Oh, y'all ain't gonna say nothing. He said, before you do all of that, just give me the best part and the first part, and then I'll make sure the rest of it blesses you. And the folks who have prescribed to that, they can testify. God will never let you down with that. And so the Bible says that when they had all eaten, or actually when they all ate and drank at Shiloh, they all had the feast. The feast is there. Hannah's got a double portion. Her plate at the table is bigger than everybody's. Elkanah has a regular plate. Penina has a regular plate. The children have a regular plate. Hannah has a double plate. Everybody can eat. She can't eat. And she gets tired of watching them eat. And so the Bible says she goes into the tent of meeting and she presents, I wish help me. It's too good to be right here. Just because it's testimonial. She presents herself to the Lord. That's an interesting thing how you come to church. How you come to church and don't present yourself to the Lord. Don't present your real self. Come to church and look the way folks expect you to look. You come to the church and act the way other folks expect you to act. And come to church trying to figure out what the protocol is. And come to church, stay in church, and leave the church and never have a personal engagement with God. And that you can do that over and over again, year after year. In our case, week after week. The Bible says this wasn't the first time that every year she came, every year it happened. But this year, she decides, I can't sit here with this double portion in front of me of meat I can't eat. And just sit here like everything is all right when there's something brewing inside. So the Bible says that she goes and she presents herself before the Lord. When she's presenting herself before the Lord, she talks about her pain. She starts to describe what's going on with her while she is talking before the Lord. Eli, the priest, is sitting in the corner and he hears her prayer. The Bible says that she was deeply distressed. She prayed to the Lord and she wept bitterly. Her condition has overflowed. The pressure in the pot has become uncontainable, and so she steals away and she decides, I'm always coming to the place of the Lord and I'm never real here. I always come to the place of the Lord and I always worry about folks looking at me and folks talking about me, and I start making unhealthy comparisons between myself and other people. And sometimes when I look around the church, I see other folks who seem to have it going on, and because they seem to have it going on, it makes me act like I got it going on, when I really know that I spend week after week acting like I got it going on, when everything is really falling apart inside of me. And this time she says, I can't do it no more. I can't do it no more. I got to get up from this table. I got to get in the presence of the Lord. And so the Bible says she presents herself before the Lord and she weeps bitterly. And while she is weeping, she goes from her pain to her pity. But while she's weeping, something else starts to happen. And she starts to talk to God. She moves to prayer. But it's not just prayer about how bad everything is. She doesn't so much pain that you get in the presence of the Lord, you just can't be cool no longer. You just can't be cool. You just can't be cool. Sometimes you don't care whether folks see you cry or not. They'll probably try to hand you some Kleenex. You say, just let it run, baby. Just let it run. I got some more stuff I got to say. Don't be grossed out. I got some more stuff I got to say. I'll wipe it in a minute, but you get in my way. Don't touch me right now. Oh, y'all know. So you ain't been broken long enough, but keep on living. There's going to be a point in time where the last thing you care about is what people look at. And so he says to her, won't you quit making a mockery of yourself in the presence of God? You're a drunkard. You're intoxicated on that wine and you're in here like a drunk person in the presence of the Lord. She said, no, I didn't have anything to drink. I didn't have anything to drink. I got a pain. I'm broken. And it's interesting that he's so worried about her drinking, but he got sons. He got sons that God has already disqualified, so he's so worried about whether she drinking, he can't focus on the fact he got drunkards in his own house. See, that's part of what goes on in the church when we try to act so good, is we think that folks can see what we look on the outside, they won't know what's going on at home. And so we smirk at other folks who going through the same kind of stuff that we're going through, but we look like if we can be judgmental of them, then people won't know that we're dealing with the same kind of stuff. And so she said, no, that's not my problem. That's not my problem. My problem is not alcohol. My problem is that I'm broke, honey. I'm messed up. I live in a house with a person that treats me good. We got a commune thing, but every time we get to church, they start elevating, and it makes me feel inadequate. The Bible says that her womb has been shut, but her womb has not been shut. Because I'm not speaking against the Bible, I'm speaking against her diagnosis. She had to have a baby because she was barren. And what barren means is not pregnant yet. Yeah, she's barren. She's barren. And she thinks God has forgotten her because her barrenness, she assumes that it is shut. Nothing gonna happen here. All the options have been taken off the table because she's barren. Y'all won't get this. And she says to God, she says, now, but God, if you give it to me, if you give me a child, I'll give it back to you. I'll give it back to you. And so the Bible says that when she goes back, her pity is gone. That's one of the ways you know when you really pray. Don't stop praying till the pity gone. Y'all want to help me here? Yeah. Don't go to God in prayer with a bad attitude and get up with a bad attitude. Don't go to God feeling sorry for yourself and then come away feeling sorry for yourself. Don't go to God talking about everything is wrong and then get up still just focusing on what's wrong. When you've been in the presence of God, God gonna show you something that says, you don't have to be like this. And the interesting thing, the Bible says that her countenance changed as soon as she said what she said to God. In other words, she prayed to God and she felt God give her an answer. And before the answer manifested, just the fact that God said, I heard you, baby, I heard you. You didn't come in here by yourself and leave here, but you came in here, we have communed together, and when we commune together, something always changes. Something about putting your foot in the presence of God, that foot don't come out putting your heart in the presence, that heart don't come out the same. Even just put your issue out there in front of God, it'll come back. And when you look at it, all of a sudden, you see possibilities that you didn't see before you handed it over to God. And so